What's going on? I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how I find ore using the Prospector's pick in Terrafirmacraft. This is just my own personal method that I figured out. It works for me. I like it. I still use it over other methods I've read about on the forums. One of the bad things about this method is it is labor intensive. We're gonna break a lot of blocks, which is why I chose to do this in creative mode. It'll cut down on time. But the good thing about this method is it's exact. It will be able to find 99% of the ore. I'll be able to narrow down 99% of the vein into a small area with little to no guesswork to find it from there. I refer to this as the box edging technique. Why? Well, let me explain the prospector's pick really quick. So when you use your prospector's pick and you hit a block, it scans an area of 25 by 25 by 25 cubed, and you're standing in the center of that cube. So that means when you get a hit on some ore like that, that ore is inside that cube with you somewhere, but I don't know where. It could be above me, below me, in front, behind, to the left, to the right. Now that's the hard part, to try and figure that out. What I do is I narrow it down from each direction on each axis one at a time. Basically like the process of elimination. I will find the end of the vein and then count back in 12 blocks. And by doing that, I'm able to find the edge of each side of the vein, and that's how I'm able to narrow it down to a much more confined space. So to get started, first thing you want to do when you find your when you get a hit is you have to designate a forward wall. Because we're going to be working in 3 dimensions, this cuts down on confusion. On a side note, your forward wall can be anywhere you're getting a hit. I always tend to go to my left. See, I was coming down this stairway. I got a hit. I always go to my left. If you get a hit from this way, you can make this way your forward wall. From right here. Or if you get a hit on any of these stairs, there, right here, you can make this way your forward wall. But when you do pick up a forward wall, just keep it consistent to cut down on confusion. So now I'm going to step off my staircase and I'm going to start on the x-axis, and I'll go to my right first. Now I'm just going to mine out until I'm no longer getting a hit on the ore. Oh, we changed blocks here. Now the prospector's pick gives you false negatives, but it doesn't give you a false positive, so you always want to hit a couple of blocks. My rule of thumb is when I run into 5 or 6 no hits in a row, then it's safe to say I'm out of range of the ore. Okay, there's 5 no hits in a row. 3, 4, 5. And then I go, there's my hit. So even though it says very large, it's common. You know, usually the vein will taper off from very large to large, to medium to small, to traces, but it just means that the vein could be flat over there. I'm still going to count this as the end. So from this point on, I'm going to count 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now I'm going to block this off. We're not concerned with anything in that direction anymore. We're only concerned with this way. So now I'm just going to do the same thing going this way on the x-axis. Okay, traces. So it tapered off going this way, and this is the end right here. 3, 4. So that's 6 no hits in a row. So this is the end of the vein. Now I'm just going to count 12 blocks going that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to block that off. So now this is our x-axis. Now we could be sure that the ore is in between these two walls. We don't know yet if it's above us, below us, in front of us, or behind us, but we know it's going to be in between these two walls. Now what I'm going to do next is count how wide this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 blocks. Now I want to get as close to the middle as possible, which will be 2, 3, the 4th block. Now, before I'm going to do my y-axis, but before I do that, I want to keep track or make note of how many blocks were to my right and to my left. And this was pretty easy. It was just 3 blocks on both sides. So now we're just going to do the same thing on the y-axis. We're just going to mine up first until I'm no longer getting a hit on the ore. So I could break this torch now. Oh, and look. Well, most of the time you will run into the ore before you even finish getting all your coordinates, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm still going to get all the coordinates, and it'll show you exactly how it narrows. It'll narrow this whole vein down into a much smaller space. All right, looks like we're out of range at about around here somewhere. So 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so we could be sure we're out of range. Now I'm gonna. Okay, there it is, right there. That's our last hit. So from here, I'm just gonna count down 12 blocks. And remember, I'm always keeping track of this being my forward wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12, so I'm going to mark that right there. Now from here, I'm just going to do the same thing going down. I'm going to dig until I'm out of range of the copper, and look, it pretty much nailed it right on the y-axis, that being the top of the vein. So now I'm going to go down until I'm no longer getting a reading. Alright, 5, 6, that's 6 no hits. And then it goes right into a large sample, so I'll mark that as the last spot where I got a hit. So now from this block up, I'm going to count 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And lo and behold, it stops right there, which is right where the vein is showing as the bottom part of the y-axis. So ignoring that the ore is right there, I'm still going to continue. But now we have our y-axis. This is the top. That means this vein doesn't go any higher than this block right here, and it won't go any lower than this block. And if you remember our 3 left and right, it'll go as wide as that, and it'll go 3 wide that way. But I'm not going to break this yet. We still got to figure out our z-axis. So from right here, I'm just going to do the same thing going in this direction. Okay, I got my 5 blocks and then a hit of traces. So now I'm going to count in 12 blocks from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's the 12th. Now I could block this off. Now, that tells us that the ore is no further than that wall in that direction. Now all we got to do is figure out this way. So I'm gonna break this block here, this copper. I didn't want to break all this, but I have to go through it to figure this out. So okay, this is a pretty big vein going this way. So imagining that you weren't running right through the vein, you're just gonna go this way until you're no longer getting a hit of copper. Okay, there's a traces hit, and just to be sure, we'll knock out 2 more. Yeah, now we got 5 no hits, traces. So from here, I'm going to count in 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I could block this off. Oh, yep, dirt acts funny in Terrafirmacraft, so we'll just do that. But now I know there's no copper beyond this wall right here, beyond this block. So now I got all my coordinates. And basically, how far up am I? 1, 2, 3. These 3 blocks is the height of the vein. It's in between these 2 walls, and it's 3 blocks that way, if you remember, and 3 blocks that way. So inside these coordinates, 3 to my left, 3 to my right, 3 up, and all the way to that wall will encompass this whole copper vein. See, as you can see, there are pockets. There's going to be little pockets everywhere. And that's the good thing about this method, this technique. It will get the whole thing. Well, 99% of it. There's always 1 or 2 blocks that are lying outside the coordinates, 1 or 2 ore blocks that didn't get picked up. But you're going to be able to get, all I have to do is mine out this new little box that I created with these coordinates, and it will be 99% of all the copper. And what I'm going to do is knock out every block inside these coordinates except the ore. So you'll be able to see exactly how it looks when it's narrowed down. Alright, here it is. I mined everything out of the original coordinates except the ore. If you remember, the original coordinates were 3 high, 7 across, and 19. I think it was 19 this way. 19 on the z-axis. But this is how it works. I tried to light the place up. This is how it works pretty much. And I threw some makeshift support beams up just for the hell of it. But this is how the technique works. It's able to enclose the ore, the whole vein inside a much smaller, much more manageable box where it could be mined out. It can be found and mined out. Now this is 99% of the ore. Like once I mine all this out, I won't be getting any more hits of copper. I could be assured that there's no little pockets anywhere else, or else the dimensions of this last box would have been bigger, and it would have encompassed any other little pocket over to the side. So that's it. That's how it works. That's the box edging technique. I hope you use it, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you score lots of ore. Have fun.